Welcome back for another video. I'm pleased to welcome back FPL's current world #1 manager, Eric, and I appreciate you sparing the time because I know you're in the middle of studying to become a doctor. Fuck's sake. I'm pleased to welcome back FPL's current world #1 manager, Eric, and I mentioned in the last video, Eric's currently studying to become a doctor, so I appreciate you sparing the time because he is in the middle of exams as well, and on the side he's also trying to win FPL. Eric, how are you?
Good. A whole mess with exams and FPL at the same time, but I'll be done the day before the deadline, so it'll be an intense Thursday night. Trying to figure out what I want to do.
Oh, you're nearly there. Yeah, hang in there. A lot of planning to do on the side of studying. You actually had quite a good Gameweek 31. You made 2 transfers, right? One went well, one didn't so much. It was Semenyo and Tarkowski that you sold, and it was Gordon and Chow that you brought in. 64 points, and you're still first in the world by a margin of 11 points there. The gap at the top was slightly reduced, 15 to 11 points. But one thing that's worth mentioning is lots of managers in the top 50 or even top 10 have used multiple chips already. Like the guy who's third in the world, he's already wildcarded, already bench boosted, already triple captains. So yeah, talk us through last game week very quickly and what the thinking was with the transfers.
I think Gordon was a no-brainer. He looked so. I mean, when him playing as a striker and being nailed on pens, I thought it was a no-brainer. Had to be done. And with Tarkowski, I didn't get enough information from Moises' press conference to feel like it was a safe. I gotta keep him in. And I don't know if I want to use a free transfer on him, but I also did not want to risk having a blanking player, as like if I have a free transfer to save it, you know. And then I ended up getting Chow in, who scored 0 anyway, so it didn't even matter all my overthinking. But it was fine. And like you said with the number 3 guy, like once I saw he only had 1 chip left, I was a bit like, okay, this is not the guy I gotta worry about. It's number 2, number 4, and the other guys will all have their chips, because how we play it now, that's what's gonna be the margin now. I think the last 7 weeks.
Yeah, I agree. I think like chip strategy is going to be so crucial, and the FA Cup results have kind of thrown it up in the air a bit. Like there's different chip strategies, and yeah, a bit unlucky. Like by the way, with Tarkowski out. I think last video I asked you what was your biggest regret of the season. And I guess now right up there would be, as an Everton fan, selling Tarkowski, who ended up keeping that surprise clean sheet. But yeah, you've still managed to avoid hits all season, and yeah, as I said, like you've still got all 4 chips, so you're in a really strong position. So on that note, let's look at your Gameweek 32 team. So we'll go goal and defense first. So a pretty straightforward decision. I know you've got Pickford, but I think it makes sense to start Raya. And then your defense is Chow, Van Dijk, Ye, and Gabriel. I guess it sort of picks itself as well this week because you've got Hill, who's your 5th defender, right? And he's playing Arsenal. You've got no attackers versus defender as well, which is like always a bonus. Like I'm looking at my team and I've got Wilson against Van Dijk. So are you happy with the defense and the goalkeeper spot?
I mean, the team looks so good. Like all the matchups look great. Double clean sheets against Bournemouth looks primed. I mean, of course I'm not going to call it, but Arsenal at home are insane. Triple Liverpool against Fulham looked great, but after watching Liverpool against City, I'm so unsure about them. I have no idea what they are now. Like they look so messy. I don't know, but I don't think I can complain at all. The team looks great, I think.
Yeah, a bit worried about Liverpool as well. Your midfield, yeah, is great. So you've got Bruno, you've got Rice, Gordon and Szoboszlai. Rice is starting for Arsenal in the Champions League, so he's fine after that flag, and Gabriel as well. So both those flags are gone. And then last it's Ekatike and Thiago. Yeah, that result against City was quite worrying, and I don't know. It feels like if Slot, if the Champions League goes badly for Liverpool, it could be Slot out at that point. And I'm a little bit worried about Ekatike. What are your thoughts on him and his potential minutes next game week?
That's honestly the biggest fear I have right now, looking at my team. It's now that also when I see Isak back and Liverpool's in such bad form, I could so imagine Slot being like, I need something new in the mix, maybe 2 up front, maybe a new setup, I don't know. But maybe I can really imagine Isak getting thrown in there, which worries me about having it as being as an Ekatike owner. Yeah, the team looks great, but I also have doubts, especially with triple Arsenal right after they play against Sporting. I'm also a bit like, also because I know my whole team will play against them. There's thoughts, and triple Liverpool, who also will play against PSG. They have other priorities, I think, and that's what I'm kind of worried about here.
Yeah, no, totally with you. Even if Isak's like not ready to come straight into a starting 11, there's going to be the cameos off the bench very soon, you'd expect. And even while Isak was out, there were games here and there where Gakpo started up top. I hope it doesn't happen because I might end up having to keep Ekatike myself. But that's just based on the chip strategy I'm on. So how much have you got in the bank? How many free transfers?
7 mil, and I think I have 1 or 2 left over. Something like that. Yeah.
Are there any potential moves you're sort of looking at if you were to not use a chip this week, or if you weren't going to roll? Is there anything in particular you're considering?
Nah, I think the team looks so good. I couldn't imagine using a free transfer on that. I don't know who I would change. That's like the first thought I would have, and then I don't even know who to.
Like Bowen, I've sort of thought about because he's got, I think it's Wolves home, but it really just comes down to your prediction on Ekatike and whether it's even worth using a transfer there or just place him on your bench because you've got Wilson. It's not bad Liverpool way, like you just said. Their form's dropped off. You've got João Pedro. He's got City home. It's a home fixture. Yeah, difficult to call that one. So yeah, I kind of get what you're saying there. But yeah, as I said earlier, like you're in such a good position. You've got all 4 chips. I think the 2 common chip strategies a lot of people are talking about is Wildcard 32, Bench Boost 33, Free Hit 34. That's one of them. And the other one is to Free Hit in 33 in the double, and then Wildcard in 35 and Bench Boost 36. That just assumes that Palace v City have a double in 36. But obviously in your case, you've also got the triple captain. So have you got like one eye on that potential Man City versus Palace postponement? Like, given that wherever that drops in could be a triple captain opportunity.
I mean, I haven't had that much time to like look at what it actually looks like. I've been really torn. Like I've only read about what the people are considering, and I've been really torn about both. And like the thought I'm sitting with is, will the optimizing chips usage outweigh a better team? Does that make sense?
Yeah, makes complete sense.
Because the wildcard copies I've been seeing, they have not looked nearly as competitive as the teams I could be playing now. But I also have players who also are much more heavy on Champions League, like Liverpool and Arsenal, where maybe not having them is a much better priority. And maybe focusing on players like Chelsea and Brighton who only want to play for Europe is maybe a better idea. So it's a really hard choice. It's really hard choice.
Yeah, it really is. And I can't imagine I don't know, the headache that's probably causing at first in the world and trying to kind of decide on a chip strategy. And you kind of have to commit to one way or the other this week, whether that's wildcard now or wildcard later, and do a different route.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's like the wildcard teams this week, you're bringing in players that have got worse fixtures. I've seen like lots of people having to start Senesi against Arsenal and, just sort of hoping for DEFCON and only 1 conceded, that sort of thing. That'd be like best case snenario because I just can't see a clean sheet away at the Emirates. We've got a Gameweek 32 wildcard team to run through. And this is kind of like a best of both worlds draft. I don't know how many people might be looking at this, but the idea is you still keep some good players for this week that don't double in 33. So that team is Verbruggen, Gabriel, Van Heck, O'Reilly, Bruno captain, Palmer, Semenyo, Stack, Thiago, João Pedro and Haaland. So yeah, it's a sort of best of both worlds draft. So you've got the 3 players there down the left, Gabriel, Bruno and Thiago, that have got great fixtures this week basically, plus some great ones to come. But they don't have a double game week in 33. So yeah, something that crossed my mind if I was going to wildcard this week is to maybe balance out some single game week players just so you don't miss out on having some top quality, like proven assets over the season for the run-in. So if you were looking to wildcard this week, would you take a similar approach with 1 or 2 players that are just proven good assets to own for the run-in, or would you look to maximise doublers in 33?
I think like Bruno is a must-stay. I don't think, also because when you look at the options for like what teams can wildcard, there's only so many premium midfielders you can get, And I think Bruno is like a player that has shown that like he might actually be more valuable than getting in another doubler. So I think Bruno is like a must stay if you wildcard. I think that's like a no debate. Gabriel, if you have a lot of transfers, I'd actually keep him in for 32 and take him out for 33 and then maybe bring him back again. Like with City Arsenal game, the game could easily be a 4-3 mess or be a 0-0, the ball's just rolling on the floor game. You have no idea.
I guess you could do a similar thing with like Thiago, for example. I agree. I think Bruno's like non-negotiable, but if we look at the Gameweek 33 team, we'll move on to that just to look at how that looks. Basically, then in double Gameweek 33, you've got Darlow, Rodon, Van Heck, O'Reilly, Senesi, Stack, Palmer, Semenyo, Tavernier, João Pedro, and Haaland. So basically, then the bench is just Verbruggen, Bruno, Gabriel, and Thiago. So you've got like a really stacked starting 11 in terms of double game week players there. But yeah, the bench has got 3 players with a single game week. So yeah, maybe that could be Thiago to Calvert-Lewin, and you have to find a third lead spot to free up, or maybe that could be Thiago to Evan Nilsson, something like that. So yeah, I guess that's another approach you could take, and just retain Gabriel regardless. But yeah, that's how it looks on the Game Week 33 bench boost. If you go for that approach, I think some people are just looking to maximize it with like a Calvert-Lewin, for example.
I mean, I think the bench boost looks ideal. Like, I get why. I also really think a free hits looks ideal, because with the draft setup, you'd only have 1 extra bench booster, hypothetically. I mean, I think I'd maybe look to get Calvert instead of Thiago and get 2, and maybe even Gabriel to someone else. But Gabriel, in my eyes, if he's gonna play every game, I think it's like Bruno. Like, he's gonna stay until the end of the season. Like, he's someone that you can just stay fixed until game week 38. Like, you don't have to move him ever. Especially when you look at Arsenal's games from 35 to 38, they look incredible. Like, I maybe wouldn't want to rook him. So Thiago Calvert is a move, but I think the team looks fine. But I get why people want a free hit. I super get it, and that's also why I'm so in doubt, because why not just keep the amazing team and whatever if the bench boost's not that amazing? But then I also feel like if you're gonna wildcard, you might want to invest into a proper wildcard. I don't know. There's so many thoughts. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. Yeah, I mean, this is the thing about the double game weeks, right? So Arsenal have only got 1 fewer fixture, and we know that Gabriel can comfortably outscore players that have got 1 extra fixture, especially when you look at the teams that are doubling. So yeah, it's a difficult one. It's a bit of a juggling act, and it feels wrong to sort of intentionally set up a bench that isn't that strong on a bench boost. But yeah, there's definitely pros and cons, because Gabriel has just been so ridiculous this season, and so is Thiago and Bruno. So yeah, I totally get that. And then lastly, we've got the Game Week 34 free hit draft to look at. So a few flags here, and that's the same with the wildcard team. Obviously, some players could change based on flags. But the team is Roofs, Timber, Van Dijk, Gabriel, Cunha and Dye, Rice, Salah, Bruno, Bowen and Thiago. So we've got Bruno captain again there. So yeah, I mean, it looks like a pretty strong team as well. So yeah, it does lend weight to the free hit 34 approach, but I know some people, maybe yourself included, are in a position where, because of Arsenal going out of the cup, they're able to actually get through Game Week 34 without having to use a chip.
Yeah, I mean, that team looks amazing to free hit it into. Like, free hitting into that, it's also because anyone who's gonna wildcard on 35, that might be me, I don't know. I have no idea. But anyone who's gonna free hit into 35, they might not want to use transfers to maximize 34. I mean, then they want to use transfers in 33 to maximize the 32 and 34. But a free hit team would hypothetically be better than any normal team another person would have, you know? Because I think everyone, like me, was planning for Arsenal to be through, to have a double game week. And I think you can see that in a lot of people's teams.
But yeah, those that used their free hit already, I think, are probably delighted that Arsenal got knocked out, because it has made Game Week 34 a lot easier to navigate. And then one thing I will say actually is I feel like it's going to end up just swinging one way or the other completely. I don't think it's going to end up like whatever strategy you went for, they did similarly. I just think it's going to be a horrendous swing, and I just hope me and you both end up on the right side of that. So yeah, just lastly, coming back to your team then. So if you were to roll, you would, I think you'd be in a position then to have like 2 or 3 transfers by the time we get to like Game Week 36, which could be that Man City versus Palace double.
3 or 4 by then, I think I'd be looking at. Even a wild card then, so that wouldn't matter.
Yeah, of course. If you were to roll, then you could have those extra transfers after to potentially buy Palace assets, or maybe you'd include them on the wild card. Yeah, it's tricky. It's a real head scratcher. Like, it feels like it's not so obvious anymore. Whereas if Arsenal just knocked Southampton out, it just felt like it was nicely laid out. But I think you could argue that's a good thing. Maybe not in your case where you're not chasing, you're trying to hold a lead. But for people that are chasing, it's like there's definitely opportunities now. But yeah, chip strategy has been blown wide open.
Oh, for sure. I think for me, when I saw Arsenal lose, I was like, okay, now it's really game on, you know? Because I remember the weeks up to the Arsenal game, everyone was posting the exact same strategy, the same team, everything, you know? I
Yeah.
mean, still the same wildcard team that we see now, but it would have been so much more clear who exactly would bring into your team then. And free hitting in 34 would just been everyone would have done the same thing. Wildcard 32, free hit 34, bench boost 33. Everyone would have done the exact same thing. I think this is what's best for football and for FPL, you know,
Well said.
because if everyone had the exact same strategy, it actually would have been quite boring. I think both strategies look so ideal. I also looking back at like that wildcard 32 team. I think there's also I think Karaj could be a super underrated Burnley asset for defense. I think Ampadu for Leeds is super underrated. Like I read the other day that he has the fourth highest defensive contributions of any player
Wow.
in the league.
Yeah, I
But
didn't
he's
know
but
that.
he has scored much less actual DefCon points because he has so many in one game.
Right.
So like for me, who's someone who might want to get like consistent save points instead of hoping on a attacking contribution, Ampadu might be great. And then there's the debate if you want Wellbeck or if you want Calvert. The choice you make this week, I think, is what's going to make or break this season. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
I don't even know what I'm going to do either. I feel like this video is messier than our last one because we kind of knew what we were doing. We knew what we were talking about. We knew what was happening. This is coming up. And then, like, the FA Cup is just, like, throwing everything up in the air. And I don't know. I'm totally with you where it's not so clear anymore. But
Yeah. I mean, are you looking more at the free hit 33 more?
yeah, I'm looking at, currently as it stands, I'm going to free hit in 33. Wildcard 35, bench boost 36, because I've already used the triple captain. And that one at least lets me get triple Palace, assuming that's a good thing whenever that double gaming drops in, probably 36.
How many free transfers do you have? Oh, sorry.
Yeah, exactly. I've just got one transfer as well, so that's the other thing. Like, if I was to wildcard now, it's just like impossible for me to have triple Palace in 36. So that's also the back of my head, just in case I really want to attack that double game week with triple Palace, plus I'll have the triple City. So I think as it stands, I'm now likelier to just bring Bowen in for Mane, because like you, I've got loads of money in the bank. So something like that, because Bowen's quite handy for blank game week 34, because he's got Everton home, plus he's got Wolves home this week, and then it's the free hit in between where I wouldn't own him. So yeah, I'm looking at Bowen. That's kind of where I'm at, but yeah, I've got less of a headache in terms of I've got 3 chips, not 4. So
anyway. A whole mess.
Yeah, it is a whole mess. Anyway, I think we've been rambling too long now. We'll wrap it up there. Thank you, Eric, for joining us. Best of luck in Gameweek 32. As always, we'll be following what you do with your chips, if you use one or if you don't. But either way, we'll be keeping an eye on the leaderboard. If you guys aren't following Eric, he is at the FPL Study on X. Thank you, Eric, for joining us.
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Hello? I'll let you back. Okay, sorry, you froze.
I took a picture of you because you froze at the most amazing moment.
Oh, did I?
Let's see. I don't know if you can see it.
Was I pulling a stupid face?
You look yeah, you don't look great. To be honest.
I'm pleased to welcome back FPL's current again, sorry. Welcome back for another video. Wait, I'll have to redo that, sorry. I can't remember what I said.
No worries.
I might just redo the whole thing. Hang on, let's do it again. Because I fucked up the intro. Would you just maximize doublers in 33, or would you kind of find a way to balance it out? Oh, your camera's gone off.
Sorry, I'm so sorry. It's a whole mess over here. I'm so sorry.
That's all right. What was I saying?
Sorry.